Hello, this is a little purchase I made at Yankee Candle. I meant to post this sooner, it's just a few days old. I technically should be on a wax purchasing ban, but there's only a couple little things that might get me out of that mode, and that would be a great deal like this. I purchased here mostly votives and one Tart, and they're all 32 cents. And that's about the best deal you can get sometimes on these things, because even at the outlets or the stores, if there's like 75% off or whatever, you don't get them much cheaper than this. So it's a great time to try some new scents and run with it a little bit. So that's what I did. Okay, so let's jump right in. I did get 2 of 1 scent because I really want to try this out. This is Over the River. Let me see. Bring this in closer with the smaller labels to see the picture. That's a really beautiful picture. This candle is really pretty. I kind of am wishing I could have got it in the large jar in the old label. And I like it that they have these little holes, or I think I do like it, where you can smell things better at the top. This is very nice. I was talking to a friend, and this is one of her very favorites. She was saying she couldn't wait for this to get back into the store. This is really nice on cold. To me, I really like this. So we will see how that performs. Oh, and just wanted to say too real quick that with these guys, I decided to get votives instead of Tart to try, because I'm trying out the thing where I cut down these and well, first of all, okay, so unwrap, take out the wick carefully. I pull the wick straight and take it out of the bottom. And I'm kind of a candle nerd because I've made candles in the past, so I save those little wicks because you can melt stuff down and make your own like little tea lights and votives. Well, that's another story, perhaps another video for another time, but I'm just saying you can get a lot out of one of these little candles. Cutting it in half, you almost get 2 separate little tarts. I've only tried that once, and it was with a great result, actually. It's kind of like a mini version, in my opinion so far, and I may revise this thought later if it turns out to not be the case, but it's like a mini version of when a candle doesn't really throw, and then you can put the rest of it in a crock. That was another tip I got from Nuts About Candles, to test out a jar to see how much of a true dud it is or isn't. You can put it in a crock or on a warmer and really melt that, the fragrance oils to a degree where you're going to smell it or not and get and feel if it's a dud or not. My experience with votives is that sometimes they're just not the best throwers, and I don't know that they're really meant to be, except because they're samplers. They're letting you sample a fragrance so you can find out if you like it or not. I'm finding that when I'm comparing it to melting a larger jar in a crock, if you melt these down in a warmer, you just get a little more fragrance, I think, than you might have otherwise from the votive if you were just burning it. So that's just another way to look at it. Oh, and one more thought before I go overly wordy, and I'm kind of there. I'm already there. But anyway, the other thought is compared to like a Tart. Say I don't get around to burning this for or melting it for a very long time. With these, I've at least got an ambiance factor possibility here. I can still burn a candle. Does that make sense? So say I put it in a box and then I get distracted and forget about it and the scent goes away, I still have a candle. So that's part of my rationale or thinking, not so much rationale, just thinking, because these are already a great little deal. Okay, the next one, Silver Birch. I'm excited for this one. This might be kind of a cologne scent, but there's a lot of cologne type scents that people call cologne scents that I kind of like. So I don't mind a cologne scent. It's more the like over the top, heady, strong smelling florals that I kind of don't like too much, that smell fake and artificial. But a cologne scent like this, gosh, I just love that. The trees, like the paper birch trees, I think that's what that tree is, with the white bark. Gosh, I love those trees. I've seen people do very beautiful landscaping with those trees in yards. Just absolutely gorgeous. But I'm kind of a tree lover, so. Next up, kind of switching gears there, this Votive is Soft Blanket. This is not something I've ever purchased in a large jar and ever really burned, even though I've smelled it many, many times. I've passed it by lots of times. Every time I smell this, I think, I don't know. I just put it back every time. The reason why I picked it up this time to try, besides the good deal, is there's some notes in here that are very interesting. This is a lot more, I think, of a complex fragrance than it appears to be at first glance. Excuse me. Autumn Gathering. This is another one. And this brings up a good point I wanted to kind of talk about for just a second. This makes me laugh. This is going to sound kind of weird. One of my very favorite associates, who I've known, gosh, for almost a decade, and at different Yankee stores. I just love her. She's awesome. She's such a sweet lady. I really like her. When I went in this last semi-annual, so we were talking about all the new fragrances, and I really think it's because we're almost like, if it's possible, you can become friends with an associate, almost become friends over the years. And she's just awesome. But I think it's why she kind of confided in me. And I don't know if it's this one, but there was one of the new fragrances that, she says to me, what do you think that smells like? And I don't know if it was this one, but it's one of the more, it's not one of the sweeter ones. She says, what does it smell like to you, honestly? And I kept smelling it. I'm like, I don't know. It's hard to tell. And she goes, it doesn't smell like cat pee, does it? And I said, I just started laughing because I'm like, seriously? Like, she said it under her breath, very quiet. And I don't think she would say it to anyone else. So I'm not dissing or putting down or trying to make anyone look bad at Yankee Candle. But, I'm really curious. I can't remember which candle it was. I'll have to go back and ask her. But one of them, she honestly said, is in a regrettable form, like in a regrettable way, like saying, I just don't know what that scent is. And I almost think it's that one. I think it might be that one. I mean, sometimes you can get a blend so right, like a complex fragrance. But when you start, and doesn't this make sense that once you start combining multiple notes, even if they're super great on their own, like they're really like nice in their own right, but when you combine them, who knows what kind of reactions you're going to get and chemical combinations and whatnot. It's just bound to happen that something's going to smell off or strange or whatever, maybe in an attempt to try too hard. I don't know. So I'm only mentioning it in case anyone's watching this and you might know what I'm vaguely referring to. Okay, this is a very tangenty video, so bear with me. Hang in there, folks. My goodness, I'm wordy today. Alrighty. Moving right along. Red raspberry. That looks like a sweet treat going on. Let's see. A spoonful of raspberry goodness. Oh my goodness. Is that like a little spoonful of raspberries sitting on some raspberry concoction there? Oh my gosh. I've heard this is pretty sweet, and so you may not like it if you're not into that. But I like sweet when I'm in the mood for it. Yum. Uh-oh, I'm combining the different labels. It doesn't look quite right, does it? Let's see. Very different look. Very different look. Anyway, the next one, apple pumpkin. I have almost purchased this in a large jar so many times, and then I always pass it up. And I know that some people really love this, but I'm trying to get away from my initial reactions on just cold throws and learning to trust my instincts or intuition, whatever, that I might like it regardless of the cold throw. Because very obviously, you cannot tell always what it's going to be like on cold throw. I'm also learning over time to kind of fine tune the same cold sniff test to tell if a scent's going to throw or not. And I mean that in two different ways there. So on the one hand, you can tell sometimes if a candle is going to be a good thrower, but you can't always tell the deep and rich complexity of a fragrance just by the cold throw. Okay, the next one. Strawberry lemon ice, because that just sounds like a heavenly summer treat. Oh my gosh, I would like one of those right now. I like strawberry. I love lemon. So this seems like a sure thing for me, like a no-brainer. Like I ought to just have this in my life. Seems like I remember somebody saying they weren't so sure about it though. Wasn't completely their cup of tea. Let's push these back a little bit. It's becoming to be a long line here. Next, Summer Storm. I'm really excited about this one. Like really, really, really thrilled to try this. And of my regrets from this last semi-annual sale, this one, I meant to get this in a large jar because I have a feeling I'm really going to like it. Like really, really, really like it. Lightning. Okay, come on now. This lightning. Okay, I love storms. Look at that. But I just noticed there's like a sunset happening at the same time during a storm. And there's trees silhouetted in the background. Absolutely gorgeous label. And they're going to take it away, of course. Oh, why didn't I get this in a large jar? I really like this. Like, okay, label topic for just a second here, a little label tangent. This is just worth having for, I mean, not worth having, but the label alone, that's a mood setter right there. Like, it's kind of a moody looking, and the color, really intense and rich and beautiful. Huh. I need the notes on this too. I'm going to have to look that up. Summer Storm. Why didn't I get that in a large jar? I may have to remedy that. Oh, and I've got a coupon here. Ooh, we'll see about that. I just bought so much. I just don't need anymore. I can't, it's hard to justify getting large jars right now, even at half price. Okay. Apple cider. Ooh, this smells very nice on cold. This is going to be, ooh, this is based on my experience. This could be a little votive thrower on its own in a room, and I don't mean just a bathroom. I'm always on the lookout for votives, the samplers that will throw on their own, which is a very tall order and like over the top request. But if you can find them, how great is that? A fun little thrower with ambiance and a votive holder. Now, that's not just me being completely a cheapskate there, or cheapo, whatever. It's that I, over the years, have loved candles, gosh, for all my adult life for sure. But before that, I even liked candles. I have quite a collection of votive holders. So it's just so fun to burn a little votive. It's just fun, period. And you don't need like 3 to 5 hours or more. My final votive is gingerbread maple. I have a feeling I'm going to love this. or be disappointed by it. I can barely smell it. And someone in the candle group that I'm most active in mentioned that there's a nutmeg eggnoggy smell to this. And I totally am getting that. I just can smell it if I smell it really hard. Like nutmeg. So I don't know that it means it's going to smell like eggnog, but like the nutmeg that you see sprinkled on top of an eggnog drink is what I think they're referring to mostly. Oh my gosh. I'm a nut about maple, and I'm really lover of gingerbread too. So I'm hoping, wouldn't that be fun if this became a favorite? Who knows? And finally, the only Tart I got, because I know I'm going to burn this or melt it soon. Crisp Morning Air, gorgeous label. Enjoy it while you can, folks. Oh my gosh. I need to get an attitude adjustment over the label change. I think I'm just being in a defiant mode there too. I understand. There's people who, I don't know, they love the new label. Some people do. Some people hate it. I'm just more, I think, nostalgic-y type mentality on the labels because, well, I love photography. I love photos. I love art. I love the mood that the labels can give, and I enjoy the creativity that I feel like someone or a company has put into a label. And so I feel like I see that here. Now, if that were, let me grab another one here. Okay, I'm just, this guy, come on. And that's kind of pretty too, I suppose. But like compared to this, it's like, wah, wah, like just, oh, gee, okay, yay. And then, but this is like, wow, wow. Does that make sense? I'm so, oh, I'm kind of in a funny mood. So don't mind me, guys. But, okay, you see that it looks like, is that sunshine going under the bridge in a stream with fall colored leaves, like framing the whole picture in water? Is that what, I mean, come on. That's absolutely beautiful. This was recommended also, Nuts About Candles mentioned that, and so I appreciate it because reading the notes and hearing this is just one I've skipped all the time. There's just really no reason for that, but for whatever the reason, I just skipped this a billion times based on what I've heard and based on what the notes are. I should really love this, so I'm excited to try it. I'm gonna melt it and see what I think. And I can't wait because that is just beautiful. So I could, like these others right here, these three, there were no old labels. I've heard people talk about digging through the, or looking through the Votives or Tarts and looking for the newer labels. And I'm opposite. I look for these older labels. So it's just the end of an era. And actually, I don't really believe that because I think they're going to do something with this. Watch it be a marketing ploy where everyone wants to stock up on the old ones, and not a ploy, but they're just going to have some fun with it. So I've really rambled in this video. I've given some of my candle thinking philosophy and different opinions quite a bit. So if you're still hanging in there, good for you. And my videos won't always be like that or this long, but it's just fun to try new candles. I meant to share this much sooner. 32 cents a piece, folks. That's great. So I had fun. That's the kind of deals I love to take advantage of. And I appreciate you watching today. Hope you have a lovely day. Bye-bye.